From the murky waters of the sportsman's paradise, stories emerge. Stories of the generations of people who have shared in the bounties of the land. Stories of communities that have persevered through natural disasters. Stories of the abundance of fish, wildlife, and adventures that create an ecosystem rich in diversity. And from the silted banks of the mighty Mississippi to the soggy marsh bottoms, from the tops of the towering pine forest to the depths of the salty Gulf, human and animal have shared in this fortune for centuries. Enjoy these stories as told by outdoor journalists who travel across our state documenting the adventure, sportsmanship, and heritage that make us Bayou Wild.
Welcome to Bayou Wild. We're on the banks of the Tchefuncte River at Morton Seafood. I'm Don Dubuque along with Captain Martha Spencer. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it. It was a long 9 days of sea school, but I'm proud to say I passed.
And what's ahead for Captain Spencer now?
I'm not sure. It was more of a personal
challenge,
thing, bucket list thing, but if the opportunity presents itself, you never know.
Well, speaking of captains, we're going to take you on a trip with a very well-known captain. Anyone that fishes around South Louisiana knows the name, Captain Deadly Dudley Vandenborre. And we went with Dudley following the opening of the Mississippi River through the Bonnet Carre Spillway. The river waters diverted through the lake and all those areas. We're going to test the waters to find out how the fishing is post-diversion. Also, we take you to the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries in Baton Rouge with biologist Ashley Ferguson. She's going to show us the science, what we learned from the last spillway opening, and how you can apply that to this time to become a successful fisherman.
After we get off the water, we're going to introduce you to another part of the Deadly Dudley success story. That's Kim Vandenborre. She is the wife of Dudley, and you'll meet her in The Captain's Wife, talk about the business and how she's had a big part in their success. Then we're going to head back out to White Oak Plantation and teach you how to make a great pan-seared trout recipe. Comes in with some colorful beets. It's delicious. You don't want to miss it.
And if you entered our favorite dog contest and you send a picture in, we're going to announce the winner of the Louisiana Fish Fry Cajun gift box. So stay tuned. We're watching Bayou Wild from Morton Seafood Restaurant in Madisonville. All right, we're out here checking around to try to find some good salty water, pick up some speckled trout, but right now the redfish are getting in our way.
You look for the green water. If you can find the green water, you generally can catch fish. It'll get caught in little pockets up against the shoreline. Back in the marina here, we fished that today.
In the 2016 spillway opening, we were able to see through the telemetry project how the speckled trout and redfish that were tagged moved throughout Lake Ponchartrain in response to the spillway water.
Here's how I guarantee my crawfish taste great every time. I use what the pros use. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because, guys, it has more herbs and spices.
It has a much better flavor.
It's easy, just pour and boil.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade.
And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
Bonnet Carre Spillway is closed, river water not coming in anymore, and searching for speckled trout and redfish.
You look for the green water. If you can find the green water, you generally can catch fish. It'll get caught in little pockets up against the shoreline. Back in the marina here, we fished that today. And it's going to take probably about 3 weeks. It'll start clearing us out pretty good where the regulars and the chef will start having fish in those areas. But if you find green water, generally there'll be a few fish around.
In the 2016 spillway opening, we were able to see through the telemetry project how the speckled trout and redfish that were tagged moved throughout Lake Ponchartrain in response to the spillway water. So luckily we had the receivers and the tags in the fish at the time, and over The first week, I would say there wasn't much movement. It was in the second week that we saw a lot of the fish move to the north shore as that spillway water hugged the south shore of Lake Ponchartrain. Within the third week, we saw that sediment water move through Hospital Wall, which is in the eastern portion of the lake, and even more of our speckled trout and redfish were concentrated in that upper portion. I would say 90% of our fish. There's a tremendous data set that comes out of doing a telemetry project. Being able to figure out a way to apply this new technology to management is something that, we're definitely working on.
We'll struggle a little bit in all the it'll be a better year for redfish, and then we'll catch them really good in the spring.
All right, we're out here checking around to try to find some good salty water, pick up some speckled trout, but right now the redfish are getting in our way.
I don't think it affects them at all. I think they get right up in that fresh water. It sort of proves it down in the river, The greatest place for redfish is down out of Venice, and they get that fresh water through all the time.
Oh, I see something in there.
There's a chicken in his mouth.
I think they go in and out. It probably can tolerate a whole lot less. When trout get ready to spawn, they're going to go out to that saltier water, so they definitely going to leave. Redfish, most of the redfish we catch aren't spawners anyway, so they'll stay around. But I don't think it makes a difference at all.
He's mad.
Yes, sir, good fish.
But the good part about it, they're not catching the fish aren't dying, they're just getting bigger. So when they pull back in, this fall is going to be really, really good. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have a lot of redfish. We're going to catch some trout, but we're not going to have that good of a spring as we normally do, but the fall is going to be really good.
All right, beautiful day. Beautiful speckled trout, too.
Lake Ponchartrain is a very dynamic system. It's a very unique system. And so this was one study that took place over a very short opening, which was only 22 days, and during cooler water temperatures than we see the spillway typically opening, like this 2018 spillway opening. So while that data from 2016 is very valuable, it's hard to apply that data to this opening in 2018 and also to future openings.
I saw a couple jumping carp already. I've been running my boat and you see them jump up in front of you and your customer will say, "What is that?" I said, "That's one of them silver carp." I have seen those. I'm assuming, that when the river water backs up, they're going to back up too. But, you might end up getting them back in the Pearl and all places we never had them at before. I have seen that. A lot of freshwater catfish are around right now. And I tell you what, we had a lot before this. So with this spillway, opening up, they're going to be a whole lot next year in particular.
Yeah, here we go. All right, Dudley, bring him in. All right, there we go. Now, hunting for speckled trout can be difficult when you got river water to deal with, but it's much easier to get those beautiful redfish.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Find out if alternative treatment is the answer to your pet's health issues. Contact Dr. G at vetnaturally.com. Coming up later on Bayou Wild, Chef John Folse is going to teach us how to elevate our speckled trout with a pan-seared red and yellow beet speckled trout.
Beautiful.
Here's how I guarantee my crawfish taste great every time. I use what the pros use. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because, guys, it has more herbs and spices.
It has a much better flavor.
It's easy, just pour and boil.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time. If you've ever fished Lake Ponchartrain, chances are you've heard the name Captain Deadly Dudley.
He's been fishing nearly all his life. He's even got a fishing wife. His dad and his son, they all catch some with Dudley.
But the success of Captain Dudley's career has not come single-handedly.
Dudley and I have been together for about 45 years. And when we first started dating, we were always on the water. We spent about 5 years together before we got married, and we were either shrimping, crabbing, fishing, whatever. And back then he said he wanted to be a charter boat captain. And my thoughts were, I have never in my life heard of anybody being a charter boat captain for a living. So I said, I really don't think that's a good idea. Well, he's always had a love for fishing, and I've kind of joined him because of it and went along with the ride, I guess.
That ride would include V&G Lure Company and its premier bait, the Deadly Dudley, and a charter service with one of the most respected fishing guides on Lake Ponchartrain.
The part that I played, the role that I played, was to try to book the charters for him when people would call. Captain Dudley's. And everything was pretty much word of mouth. We've never been big on advertising, and to this day, we still are not.
Captain Dudley will tell you there's a lot more to running a guide service than just catching fish.
She's got the hardest part, far and away, you know, on them. I got the easy part. I get to go out here fishing, you know, good customers, good people, have a conversation all day. And all she's got to do is answer the phone, listen to everybody trying to book a charter, you know, running the business, you know, fooling with the lure business, you know. I mean, she's definitely has a whole lot harder than me.
Most of our people are locals, so a lot of the people that we come across are just maybe from sportsman shows or just shows that we've done that have been affiliated also with our lure company, which the lure company came in effect around the same time he started his charter service.
As Deadly Dudley Bait's popularity grew, so did the role Kim played in partnership with her husband's business.
Well, Dudley and I really worked together as a team with that, and he gives me a lot of credit for it, but really it wasn't me, it was him. But I would go with him when an order was placed. I would always make sure that the inventory was taken care of. Any paperwork that was necessary, I would take over with that. Any emails or faxes that might come through. I'm not the face of V&G Lures, Dudley is, and it was his idea. He invented it, and people do relate to him and I together on that end of it, but really it's all him.
Kim's behind-the-scenes role has been key to the success of Captain Dudley's charters and V&G Lure Company. But there are times when the most important part of the relationship is being there for support.
And for a long time, I'd wash the boat for him after he'd come back, you know, but now we have grandkids that help out with that, and a couple little friends of kids in the neighborhood sometimes will wash the boat. But my biggest role is just booking the charters for him and giving them support.
I got him. Put that, you know, I've had 3 strikes and 2 casts.
What color was that?
That's that purple demon. That's the one you used to like all the time.
Look at that.
Coming at you now, chicken.
Now we're in a new stage, and we have sold V&G Lures. It is now called Hooked, and it was bought through 2 fellas that live in Beaumont, Texas, and they have always used our baits, and one of the buyers had come in to do a charter with Dudley. He was en route to Florida to look for some property, and he knew we were here in Slidell, and he stopped by. He booked the charter, and he came by himself. And before they got back to the dock, they had discussed about selling this lure company, and he wanted it. And so he said, I'll do whatever I have to take over this company. You know, we're pretty much taken over the Louisiana market, but we've never gotten into the Texas market. So I think the combination of Dudley's continued ideas, I think they'll know what to do on their end, on that end, to continue to make the company prosper.
After decades of success, Kim and Dudley now look forward to the next chapter of their lives together.
What it means is Dudley and I are going to have a lot more free time to spend with the grandkids. You know, we're not old, but we're in our 60s, and you know, we're ready to just start enjoying life a little bit more and spending it with our grandchildren.
You know, she loves the fish trout. She loves to go out with the grandkids, you know, while we're fishing. She has a really good time. She occupies her. We just don't go enough with the charters now. And I hate to say at old age, you know, I don't go as much as I used to. You know, I used to come back in and I'd go back out again for a few hours. It gets to the point where you just get a little bit tired and gotta get my beauty rest. I need all I can.
Maybe I'll have a better opportunity to go out and fish again and start all over from like where we started out, just him and I on the boat. It's going to be a very good thing, I think, for everybody, us included.
And we want to congratulate Captain Deadly Dudley and Kim on their new venture that they'll be taking on now that they've gotten out of V&G Lures. You're going to seeing more of Kim Vandenborre because we've got a couple of cooking features with her too. Not only is she a good businesswoman, she's also a pretty good cook. And you had a little cooking experience with our friend Chef John Folse.
Yeah, we're going to head back to White Oak Plantation. You know, trout fishing is getting hot right now, so why not learn a great recipe to cook up that pan-seared trout?
And when I take it out of the skillet, this is going to be cooked perfectly. It only takes a couple of minutes. People overcook fish too, which is really very easy. So we've seasoned it properly. We've made sure that we went ahead and got coating on each side of flour, shook it off, put it into a really hot pan, and in a couple of minutes it's done. So I'm gonna just turn the fire off.
Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use what the pros use. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because, guys, it has more herbs and spices.
It has a much better flavor.
It's easy, just pour and boil.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
Welcome back to Bayou Wild. We're out here at White Oak Plantation with Chef John Folse. We're making a pretty simple dish here with favorite fish in Louisiana.
Well, you know, we're using a speckled trout. We're doing a beautiful salad, and I'm trying to encourage people to start to think out of the box with all of your fish, all of your game, and just kind of elevating it to bring it to the table of company rather than think of it as a camp dish or something that you would just go out on the back patio.
No paper plates
fry.
here.
Yeah, just kind of elevate it because first of all, it makes people realize just how important a sportsman's paradise Louisiana is. It makes them realize that this is a vacation haven to be able to come when it comes to game and fish. And why not then take the bounty of the hunt and bring it home and invite friends around the table the way you would if it was Christmas dinner, because it should be a celebratory experience when you're bringing your game or fish home from the fish or the hunt. So this dish, again, is going to be one of those that's simple to do because I never want to complicate a dish. I want people to be able to feel that I can do that.
Everything they're getting here, they can find at the grocery store.
Now, you see that golden beet right there? A lot of people won't know that you can go to the store and you can get golden beets, you can get...
I didn't know they existed.
You can get the red, you can get those that look like a target. I wash these, I put them in foil. I put them in a 400-degree oven for an hour, and they come out. I can just wash the skin off of the outside of the golden beet, and it's just like baking a potato. And I just wash the skin off. I don't even have to peel it, and then I cut it, and it just again enhances the fish, right?
That's really beautiful color too.
Yeah, that's really the message, is that it enhances the fish. So we have again some beautiful speckled trout here, and if you hold that up, I'm going to go ahead and season them because again I like to not only season the fish, but the flour as well. And again, I'm using a nice sea salt here. You see how thick the grain is on that salt? It's just going to really pop the flavor. You don't need too much. It's just, again, I want people to put things in their mouth when I cook it and they say, wow, what is that? What is that? And I can say, well, that's sea salt.
A lot of enhancement flavors.
Yeah, just enhancing flavors. That's exactly right. So then, again, just a little quick flip of the fish. You want to season them on both sides. And, of course, the flour is seasoned as well.
Okay.
So I'm doing, but I want the crystals of that salt on that flesh of the fish. You got me? Mm-hmm. So now you can go ahead and throw them in there and just lay them flat in the flour. And once you get into the flour, you just kind of press them lightly, and then you want to shake off all of that excess. Don and I were cooking some trout a while back, and we were talking about the fact that this little, no egg, no milk, no nothing on it, this allows the fish to get that nice crusty finish. So, see my skillet's yelling at me here?
Is it ready?
So, that's right. We'll go right down into it like that, and just kind of move that oil around. And I'm going to do that like this. Now, the fish, these little flat fillets of fish cook so fast. You want to retain the moisture inside of the fish. But of course, if you have a thicker piece of redfish or so, you would do the same thing we've just done. You would just kind of have the fire a little bit lower because that fish is a little thicker, and you don't want to just sit there and burn it.
How can you tell when this is done?
Well, first of all, I can tell just by the look of the bottom of that skillet. You see how it's browning so beautifully in there? That's a hot skillet. Look how thin that is. The fish will continue to cook once I take it out of the heat, right? And of course, this is going to have that nice, beautiful coat. Look at that on the bottom. That's what that little flour does for you.
It doesn't really take much.
And the heat on the outside of that fish right now is just starting to go to meet the heat coming up from the bottom. And when I take it out of the skillet, this is going to be cooked perfectly. It only takes a couple of minutes. People overcook fish too,
very
which is
easily.
really, very easily. So we've seasoned it properly. We've made sure that we went ahead and got coating on each side of flour, shook it off, put it into a really hot pan, and in a couple minutes it's done. So I'm going to just turn the fire off, and when we come back, we're going to go ahead and make our little salad dressing.
Plate it up and make you hungry.
Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because the flavor is so good.
It has more garlic, onion, paprika, lemon, and not too much salt.
It has much better flavor.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
If you hunt or fish, you really need to check out 20echo.com. It's an app that you can take on the water or on the hunt. It logs all the information. It's got the date, the GPS location, tons of information to log your catch or kill. It's a great thing to have. Check it out at 20echo.com and you'll see it more on Bayou Wild TV.
In 1967, Dutch Stogner realized his dream to run his own meat market. 50 years and 3 generations later, Double D and the Stogner family still operate with Dutch's original commitment to quality. Pick up some Double D sausage today and share your good times with us on Facebook.
Welcome back. We're out here at White Oak Plantation with Chef John Folse. A lot of folks love to catch speckled trout, but they tend to be a little simple with it. We've got this pan-seared speckled trout here. We're about to plate it up and add some delicious vegetables.
And I want to encourage everybody, just because we are doing speckled trout, use the fish that you have. I mean, you may have to cook it a little longer. The fillet might be a little thicker. I mean, just make sure that elevate that fish. Take it out of the bread, take it out of the yellow cornmeal in the fryer for a minute. You know?
Yeah, a lot of folks catch, we can't always be so lucky to catch speckled trout. Right. And sheephead we were talking about.
Oh, there's a wonderful fish for the same process right here. So absolutely, experiment with it. Now, we're going to make a little salad because, again, we're going to elevate this to, I can even think of a ladies' lunch for something like this.
It's lighter. It's not going to put you to sleep after.
Yeah, so let's go ahead. I'm going to season. I do season my greens.
Okay.
That's just a little mixture of greens there, salt, pepper, and you can just kind of stir that around a little bit. And I'm gonna, you can just kind of whack them around. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of this vinaigrette. Use either a store-bought vinaigrette. This is a little Creole mustard, a little lemon juice. It's a lemon vinaigrette. Now what we're going to do is just put that right in the middle of our plate, just right down there in the center, and just let it pile up right there. And what I'm going to do is take these beets, and I want to show you what happens to the plate when these beets start to fall on it. Once all of these beets fall on here.
It just became fine dining with those beets.
Well, what it did, it just started to look like a dish
Beautiful.
that came out of a restaurant, and all it is doggone little roasted beets, right?
It's amazing the color that comes out of them.
And look how gorgeous that is. And then I want you to, again, just kind of touch that coating right there and see. Now, of course, I would just put one on for an entree like that. But of course, we probably have company coming. So,
if they hurry up.
So we want to do that. And then I'll just put a little parsley on top of it like that. I could even put a little bit of the vinaigrette on top of the fish as a sauce. Simple as that, easily done, elevated simply to a better place on the table.
And a little healthier than your fried speckled trout.
I don't know about that. We can pretty much go, well, yeah, we can kill somebody with this too. All you got to do is eat about 5 of those fillets.
Not hard to do, huh?
Not hard at all.
All right, we're going to dig into this and we will be right back.
Here's how I guarantee my crawfish tastes great every time. I use what the pros use. I use Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Why do the pros use Louisiana Fish Fry seafood boil?
Because, guys, it has more herbs and spices.
It has a much better flavor.
It's easy, just pour and boil.
Louisiana Fish Fry brand seafood boil. Find the yellow bag, pour and boil for great crawfish every time.
Hi, I'm Donnie Rouse. There are a lot of different reasons to shop at Rouse's.
It's the people. Everybody that works here is just so nice.
Our stores get deliveries 7 days a week.
They have such a wide variety at Rouse's. Everything's in stock. I mean, everything.
We use Rouse family recipes and ingredients found right here in the store.
It's the food. Rouse's food tastes like homemade.
And they're local.
Like us.
We also have great prices.
That's the difference Rouse's makes.
Thanks for watching Bayou Wild this week. Next week, we're going to head down to Lower Plaquemines Parish to Venice. We're going to take you out with Finn Twister's charter guide service, Captain Walter Heathcock, and his daughter. She is a great fisherwoman. She's 13, and she has really got a promising upbringing with being outside. She is not afraid of anything. You'll get to meet the two of them.
Oh, I'm definitely the better fisherman. Like, that's not even an argument. I'm just the better.
Love those daddy-daughter trips. You're also going to see Kim Vandenborre again, this time in the kitchen. She's quite a cook. And we want to congratulate the winner of our dog photo contest. Thanks to all of you who entered, but we want to congratulate Mike Batson for his good shot of our friend Amos Moses, the little young golden retriever.
Adorable.
Got a great future ahead.
And don't forget, you can follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Bayou Wild TV, and you can catch all the episodes on YouTube as well, posted on Thursdays when they air at 7 p.m.
And radio on Saturday mornings, Outdoors with Don Dubuque Radio Network, and come have lunch with us here at Morton's Seafood Restaurant in Madisonville, where you're watching Bayou Wild.